So welcome to the last class of our conscious striving journey. We're sitting and reflecting today on this concept of conscious striving, and it's interesting because of all the changes that you've been through and the changes that you've been through and the changes that are coming into my life. It's almost like when you sit with a new paradigm and you just allow the space of that just integrate, not to get intellectual, not to be something you're working on and processing, just to allow it, how the shifts happen. And that's probably one of the most potent things about Kundalini Yoga, and it's also really a potent aspect of this conscious striving, because it's not something that you can approach with deep processing, because deep processing is really going into the depths and shredding off the layers and purging and detoxing, and it is a form of striving. It's spiritual striving. You know, I have to be the most enlightened, insightful, and inspirational person here right now, so I have to purge everything that's not aligned so I can be that way. However, when you just sit in the presence of the moment, really aware to what's happening, to what's unfolding, to what the energies are feeling, like what we were just saying, it's winter, it's rest time, it's hibernation time, it's time to be within. So when those decisions come up, when consciousness goes, okay, it's now time to make move, to make changes, there is the ability to do that. And that is probably a beautiful thing about the conscious striving, because you still have the stillness, you still have the quietness, you still have the ability to breathe out and be present, and from that is where the unfolding comes. We've spoken about all the really important components of this conscious striving. So there was the thing about intuition and trust, and then the patience and the unfolding, and how working the polarity of consciousness, of being, and of striving, which is becoming, and then finding the equilibrium. And tonight, to seal this all up, to sort of bring it all together, you're looking at a beautiful concept called grace. And grace is one of those words that is really hard to describe. It's really hard to define. And it's really because it's the same with compassion as well. Like, there's certain words out there that are about experiencing it. It's a sensation. You know what compassion is because you feel it. You know when you're being compassionate towards yourself and compassionate towards other people, and you know when you step away from that. Grace is the same thing. Grace is this for me, and it may be different for you because it is an experience. Grace is this essence of strength which comes from purity and innocence. For me, innocence and vulnerability are a really important component of grace. And this shines, and it holds you up, and it allows you to resonate out in your fullness, in your authentic self. And that's why innocence and vulnerability is important. Innocence allows for that child within us to play. And if the child within us isn't able to play, then where is the joy? Where are we able to just be happy in the moment and caught in the awe of life, which is the consciousness, which is the being, if we aren't allowing the innocent nature of ourselves And vulnerability, it really has to do with trust. When you're vulnerable, it really triggers the emotions. It really triggers your sense of security. It really triggers the whole feeling of needing to allow the unfolding to happen. And that is the becoming part. So vulnerability helps you to really activate this conscious striving. And when you are comfortable with your innocence and your vulnerability, and you recognize them as strengths and you recognize them as components that can enhance your life, then you feel comfortable resonating out your truth. Because often we feel that we need to be strong and display this part of ourselves that isn't impacted by life, isn't impacted by our emotions, is impacted by people's interactions. And then we also need to show this part that we're mature and we're grown up. You know, we can think our way out of everything. But that is very much operating from the mental level and not allowing the fullness of who we are. So tonight you're going to journey through what grace is for you, how it feels for you, and its role in being able to consciously strive in being you. Not consciously striving towards a certain outcome or a certain goal or a certain unfolding, consciously striving in being the way that your soul agreed for you to be when it came in. So let's start to play with it. Closing your eyes, hands on your knees, palms facing up. And dropping into the breath. Just become still as you observe the quiet within. And still having the breath lovely and soft. Bring your hands together and start to rub them. And press palm to palm, place your thumbs in at the middle of the chest. And prepare to open the class with the Adi mantra. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. And inhale to chant. Keep your hands there, exhale. Then inhale and suspend while the intention is set. May I allow the grace, the radiance, the purity of my authentic self to shine brighter and guide more clearly the path that is unfolding before me. May this happen more than ever before for the benefit of all. And exhale. Then inhale to seal it in with 3 rounds of Ardhkaraname. Ardhkaraname, Jagarkaraname, Sakkaraname, Sirgurutevinename, Ardhkaraname, Jagarkaraname, Sakkaraname, Sirgurutevinename, Ardhkaraname, Jagarkaraname, Sakkaraname, Sirgurutevinename. Inhale, keeping your hands in prayer position, reaching them all the way up to chakra of spirit. And then exhale, sweep through the body, palms facing up, resting the back of the hands on the ground.